Hi, my name is Joseph. In this video, we're going to talk about the best Forex Trade Copier and the changes we've made to improve the service. It is May 22nd, so this is the official relaunch of the Trade Copier. So just to give you a little bit of background before I get started answering some of these questions here. So I'm recording this. This is in case you're rewatching the replay, this is a live Q&A session with some subscribers, potential subscribers and current subscribers right now that are using the service. They're going to be asking some questions as we get started with the relaunch. So again, May 22nd is the official date of the relaunch, the Trade Copier. So my history is I started trading back in 2001. And in 2001, I actually opened up my first futures trading account. I used to trade the E-mini. I still do, but I was trading the E-mini with S&P with the PFG, sorry, and a lot of those companies have gone out of business since back in 2001. I mean, a lot of them don't even exist anymore. Some of the ones that I had trading accounts with, and some of them I had lost all of my money. I had an account with Refco back in the day. You may have remembered, if you've been trading for a while, you might have remembered what went on with Refco. I lost a substantial amount of money with Refco. That was actually a Forex account, and Refco was actually using FXCM's TradeStation platform. So I found out about Forex in 2001, about 3 months after I started trading futures. And I started trading both, and I've been trading both ever since. I went into trading futures, not just the index futures, but metals, futures, gold, oil. So there's a lot of things that have happened over the last few years. And as I mentioned, my first Forex account was with FXCM, and I started using the TradeStation platform. And then a lot of brokers came along, and my first experience with a trading course was in the very beginning, the first couple of months there in 2001. And I had purchased a $2,000 home study course, and it was mailed to my home. It was shipped. I received it on a Friday. It was 17 videos, 17 little manuals, little paperback sort of manuals with a little weird spiral binder in it. But I was excited. I had contacted the company before I purchased it to make sure that what I was buying for $2,000 was really going to help me. And they all told me, the sales reps at this company told me that I was going to be unstoppable. When I got this home study course, once I went through the material, that I'd be able to open up my own managed fund. And I was really, really excited. But the sad truth is that I went through all of the material, watched the videos right away. And by Sunday, when the market opened for trading, the Forex market opened for trading, I'm in California. So Sunday at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when the market opens, and on a Sunday. And I was panicked. I had no trading strategy. I had no plan. I didn't know what to do. The material that was in this $2,000 program was all basic material. I mean, it was the same stuff that I was reading in books. Every Friday night at the end of the week when I was done trading, I would sort of work it around with my family, where we would go out to dinner, we would go to the movies, we would end up at the mall, and Barnes & Noble would stay open late. So I would go into Barnes & Noble and buy another trading book, another book on trading or economics or something. And it seemed like most of the information, including the information that I was getting from renting or borrowing books from the libraries, that information was what the trading course, the $2,000 trading course, consisted of. Now, there was obviously some things that the instructor was able to share with some of his experience. Supposedly he was at that point, I believe, a 10-year trader. And this was back in 2001. And they also had some upsells, this company that sold me the $2,000 trading course. They also had a chat room. So once you had the material, then you joined the chat room, and then you would join the chat room because they would call out these trades. And they had 3 different sessions: the Asian, London, and New York session. And so basically the chat room was opened, I believe, just about around the clock. And that was $149 a month. And in that chat room, they would call out trades. And as it turns out, the instructor, or the owner of this company who sold me the $2,000 trading course, he had hired some of his students who purchased his $2,000 trading course to then manage and call out trades in this chat room. So a lot of the trades were they weren't good trades. There were a lot of failed trades. People were very uncomfortable. People were very miserable, angry. And a lot of these traders who purchased, who were calling out these trades in this chat room, they were chat room moderators. Not only were they calling out trades based on this man's trading system who sold me the $2,000 trading course, they were also students of many, many other different trading strategies and systems. And it was just like, what do they call it? The flavor of the day. It was so many. It was insane. It was incredible. There were not a lot of websites available at that time, but of course not like today. But there was still quite a bit for you to consume yourself and your time with all of these different trading strategies, and there was so much crap out there. It was really scary. I mean, it was horrible because I tried a lot of it. I tried these really stupid fad type of trading systems that just didn't make any sense. When I look at them today, or I even think about them today, I just think, how could anybody have even tried it or applied it or actually used it on a live trading account? But that's the reality, is that very often we're in a big hurry to make a lot of money right away. We're trying to, in many cases, I think a lot of people are looking at the opportunity to trade to replace their current source of income. So there's that desire and that that urgency to get away from whatever it is that you're doing now as a business, whether you own a business or you've got a full-time job, even if it's a good position, to get away from that and then to trade full-time from home or from wherever it is that you want to trade. If you've got a substantial amount of money saved or set aside, you want to do something with that money. And that's totally understandable. A lot of people do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I think in that hurry, in that sense of urgency, you tend to look at some of these trading systems and want to apply them right away, even though you don't know if they're going to work or not or how they're going to turn out. And you want to apply them, use them on a real live trading account, and that can cause a lot of trouble. I was told in the beginning to use demo accounts for a long time until you're comfortable, until you're ready, and I didn't listen to any of it. I heard it, but I jumped right in, and I had a demo account the very, very first week with my futures account just to get a feel for what I was doing, but I immediately funded that account and started trading right away. I have other videos where I talk about my first week's experience with that, and it's probably very similar to what you've experienced. But so I've been around and been in this business for a really long time, and when I decided to start offering my services to the public was in 2007, when I opened up my first website where I offered a chat room and I had my own trading course. Now, the gentleman that offered me that not offered me that the gentleman that put together that trading course that I paid $2,000 for, that company is still in business. They're in Florida, and I've had many, many coaching students come to me after going to his trading course, his location, his physical location in Florida, pay $5,000 for it. It's a 3-day, it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I still have my coaching students come to me afterwards, after they go through that experience with him, his company, and they tell me they still don't have a real viable trading plan where they know what to do every day. Like where they can look at the market and size it up for the morning and know what they're probably going to do or probably not going to do for the day. That's a real, I think, important, how should I say it? That's a really important, not just a skill, but it's also something that's going to happen over time because it is your business. It's your livelihood. It's what you do every day. To be able to look at the markets and to assess whether you should be trading or not. That's one of my biggest advantages as a trader personally. I know this about myself, is that I know when not to trade. I know when to stay away from the markets. There are days when it's just too choppy, too messy. I can tell by looking at it that, and I'll shake my head and say it out loud. And I remember when I first started doing that, and I developed that skill where I could look at it and go, you know what? I'm not even gonna try. And the thing that taught me that, where I gained that experience, was just through trial and error. I just lost so much money that I was done losing money. It was painful. It was scary. I didn't know how I was going to earn some of that money back before I had a trading system in place. And I learned the hard way to just stay away. I do that today. When it's just too choppy, I look back at the end of the day, right around 2, 3 o'clock New York time, and I think, wow, I am glad I didn't even bother with it. I knew this morning I shouldn't mess around with it. I stayed away from it. Now, as I mentioned, I'm in California, so my work hours are a little bit different. So sometimes I'll go to sleep at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which is hard. I've got a family, I've got a big family, and many times I miss dinner with them. I don't get to do a lot of things with them. So I'll sleep and then wake up at about midnight, my time, California time, which is 12, 1 o'clock. And that's when the the London market's just warming up. And, we get economic data sometimes at 1:30 New York time. 1:30 California time, which is 4:30 New York time. Then we're looking at London session, things like that. So, sometimes I can tell when maybe it's a good idea to just go back to sleep, and it's a good thing. It really has worked out for me in my favor. I can tell. Now, obviously, I can't do that every day. Every day is not the same thing. So I want you to be aware, and the reason why I'm sharing this with you is that I want you to be aware of how I trade. The way I trade is I'm a very patient and very particular trader. I'm just going to do what I know to do. I'm not going to do things. I'm not going to test out new strategies and new ideas that I read about in articles or on the forums and blogs and stuff like that. I'm way past that. I've been doing this for so long. I developed a trading system that I'm very, very comfortable with, and it suits me. It made sense to me. So what I'm going to do when I trade for you, if you use the best Forex Trade Copier, is just what I know to do. Very often people will get frustrated. They'll say, well, why didn't you get any trades? I mean, I saw some movement today. It went up 60 points. Why didn't you get any of that? And it's not always possible that every single time you see movement like that, that there is an indicator or that there's a warning or that there's some kind of setup prior to that. Sometimes there is. I mean, most of the times there is, but sometimes there isn't. Sometimes it's just unexpected. You know that about the market. You've been around. If you've been trading for a while, you know that just sometimes it's hard to find the source of why price is moving in the heat of the moment, at that critical moment when you're trying to make that decision. And if I cannot find out exactly why, whether it's economic data, a political comment, a statement, something like that, or just a technical setup or a move or something, if I'm not comfortable with it, I'm just not going to trade it. I just can't. And again, that comes back to I know when to stay out of the market. It was hard. Now, that was not something that I was able to do very easy in the beginning of my trading career. I traded everything. I thought when price moved up, I had to be able to get some of that, and there had to be a trade in there. And I thought when price moved down, there had to be something that I could do there. And it's just not true that you can trade like that all of the time. Now, I have trading strategies. I primarily am going to day trade with this. This is not, if you use the service, you're not going to be getting long day trades swing trades where I'm going to be holding on to them for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. That's not what I do. I'm trying to close every day with a profit. Occasionally, I'm going to get stuck in a trade that might take 12, 13, 14, maybe 18 hours. That happens every once in a while. And that is because of the market conditions. It's not me, right? All I can do is just do the best I can to manage the trade at the time that I'm in it. But there are times when I just know to just stay away from it. I don't want to keep repeating that, but I just want you to be aware that there are going to be days where I may not have a trade signal and I may not execute a trade. However, as a result of that, I can still earn well over 10,000 pips per year if you use the service for an entire year. My trading system, my ability to execute trades and look for trades throughout the year over a 12-month period, I'm going to earn well over 10,000 pips per year. I can close every month with a profit and not have a loss, again, because I fall back on my ability to know when I'm uncomfortable about a trade, when I'm uncomfortable about what I see. If it doesn't make any sense to me, if I can't find the source, then I stay away from it. However, when I do see activity and it's valid, it's confirmed, I know what's going on, then I'm going to trade a lot more. Now, it might look more aggressive as, compared to other times, but it's not excessive and it's not reckless behavior. I'm calculating, I'm very patient, I'm going to wait for my trades to come to me. Now, in 2007, when I mentioned that I opened up my first trading chat room and sold my trading course, that was, I really enjoyed that process, but I've learned a lot since then. There's a lot of, you probably know exactly where I'm going with this. So there's a lot of people out there manipulating trades, manipulating statements. So you might notice that I don't put a MyFX book page or an account on my website. I used to do that, and it was every single day throughout the day. We were constantly getting questions that people were saying, well, you can manipulate the trades in your MyFX book account. Not all of them are true and real and factual. Do you got anything else? And just kept going and going and going. So I just figured the only way is really to post people's performance and let people speak and say what it is that the results that they get from my trades. So back in the day when I just did in 2007, when I just offered trade calls, that's really all I was doing is I would open up the chat room and I would call out trades with my microphone in the chat room, and then I would type in the trade details shortly after. And I didn't have a trade copier at that time. But shortly after that, one of my students in my chat room said, why don't you do the trade copier? It might be easier. A lot of us still have to sit here with you in the chat room, and we're still missing trades because we can't always attend the chat room. So that's how I got into the trade copier thing. I didn't want to do it at first. I'm really at the core, I'm a trader, and all I want to do is trade, and all I want to do is follow economic announcements and follow along with political events and global events, and that is the part that fascinates me, right? To watch price action, to be disciplined, to execute my trades with discipline, to follow a certain lifestyle and control my environment so that I can execute and perform in my trading account. That's my measure. That's what I'm doing it for. And I didn't really want to provide services that were going to take me down this path where I would be taken away from my ability to focus on my trades. And sometimes that has happened over the past few years, since 2007. When I started offering trade copiers, then I had to learn about trade copiers, right? I had to set up, I wasn't using MetaTrader platform back then. I was using, whatever my broker was offering. I had accounts with Forex.com, Man Financial. I had all these different accounts. I had to, back when Refco had closed up, I was afraid to put all of my money into one place. And so I had to learn these different platforms, but MetaTrader was something that I stayed away from for a really long time because I could see that there was a lot of broker manipulation with MetaTrader platforms, and I didn't like it. I wanted to stay away from it. I was trying to reduce any area where there would be problems like that. So ultimately, I jumped in with the trade copiers and EAs that were installed with MetaTrader. I could see the value there, and I knew that it was free. It was a free platform for people that were opening up trading accounts, and that was where some of the problems started for me. And where I'm going with this is that my trade copier today, with the relaunch on May 22nd, 2018 of my service, I now no longer want to promote my trade copier service to people that don't have sufficient capital. In the past, I wanted to help people. I used different trade copiers that were installed as EAs. We used FX Blue for a really long time. And FX Blue was actually MT4i. I still have some of my old videos on some of the old website pages with MT4i. And that trade copier has since changed and caused a lot of trouble for us, but it was easy. And it meant that you didn't have to have a specific dollar amount in your trading account, right? You didn't have to have a specific dollar amount. But the problem was, if you're going to pay for a trade copier service, if you're going to pay $100 or $200 and you're going to find somebody who is good, a trader who's really going to dedicate his time and is going to use all of the available resources to make sure that the trades are appropriate, that they're confirmed, is spending money on trade news services, the proper trading charts, not MetaTrader. I'm talking about real, all of the resources that are required to perform and to grow, a managed fund or a trading account substantially. It's going to take money. It costs money to make money, and it's unfortunate for a lot of people that start in this business that just have like $1,000. I know what that felt like. That's one of the first demo accounts with Forex, FXCM. I immediately opened it up with $1,000, and then later on put in $5,000. But right away I took off and put in a whole lot of money. I had just recently sold a business back in 2000, just before 2001 when I started trading. So I used that money. A lot of people don't have that advantage. So a lot of people will start off with $500, $200, or $1,000, and they'll say, "Can I use that money to use your trading account?" And that was okay in the past. Your trading copier. And that was okay in the past because the trade copier, that was one of the reasons why I sold the trade copier at a one-time price. I used to sell the trade copier service at a one-time price of $199. That was it. You had a lifetime opportunity. I mean, I had a lot of subscribers that used it for years and years and years. I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 years, and they never had to pay. And every day I woke up and traded and executed these trades and did the same thing. Woke up and went to work at it, and they only had to pay $199. So that was okay for somebody who had $200 or $300 or $1,000 in their trading account. But the reality is that if you expect to make money from your trading account and you're going to replace your current source of income, a $500 account is not going to do it. I mean, I guess depending on where you live in the world, maybe, but for the most part, you know what I'm talking about. So that's where I'm going with this. Is I would rather help those who really need the help, who want the help, and who I can truly help. My service and my ability to trade requires a lot of resources and a lot of time. It demands a lot of my time. And in order to do that, it's going to take money, it's going to take time, and it demands so much attention from me, away from my family. And in order for me to continue to do this for the rest of my life, there's always money that has to go back into it, right? There's always things that need to go back into the business to take care and to operate correctly. I'm not going to go down the list because you probably don't even need to worry about it if you're going to be using the Trade Copier service. But the Trade Copier service today, my focus is to make sure that the people who are going to use the Trade Copier are those who are trying to either grow, let's say, a retirement fund, or they're truly trying to supplement their income or replace their current source of income. And I know this from experience that things didn't really change for me. When I started trading mini lots were available from most of the platforms back when I first started trading, and they didn't really have things like micros. You could change the settings on them, but not a whole lot of them offered that. And so a mini lot was like $1 a point, right? And I knew right away, and I could see the difference when I switched to a standard lot, and I was earning approximately approximately $10 a pip. That's when things changed for me. And then it was a matter of me growing the account or putting more money into my account if I wanted to trade more than just one lot to really make a difference. Now, when I started making 500 and 600 and 800 pips a month consistently, this was way back when I first started trading on my own, I ended up opening up a managed fund. For those of you who are, I can see the question here, do I operate a managed fund? I'll get to all the questions in just a moment here. I did start a managed fund back a long time ago. It was really easy to do. It was really easy, but it's obviously changed since then. But when I was trading on my own and I started trading the standard lots, 800 pips a month, I was making around $8,000 a month on a standard lot, depending on which currency pairs I was focusing on. I'm sorry, yeah, $8,000 a month was the equivalent for one standard lot, approximately. And then I had funded my account with more money, and I was able to trade 5 standard lots. Now, here's where I want you to be aware that I didn't fund my account and start trading 5 standard lots and then overexpose the capital in my account. That is a critical part of this whole thing. Trading, longevity, to be able to stay in this business for a really long time. I did blow up 2 trading accounts in the beginning of my trading career. I did that in 2001. And it wasn't fun. It was a lot of money. I'm not going to do it again. I would never do that again. There's no reason to do that. And I quickly learned. It was hard for me to get my head around what I was doing back then, but I quickly decided that I can't go any further. I can't fund another account until I understand the effects of over leveraging my accounts on these trades. I needed to understand what that was. This was, again, back in 2001. So I learned all of this stuff the hard way, and I really hope that by you using my service, you never have to experience anything like that again. Now, you can certainly trade your account, the same account that I would be trading for you if you use my Trade Copier service. You can still execute trades. So if you're executing trades and I'm executing trades on the same account at the same time, remember, the performance might be a little bit different depending on how well you trade. So just be aware of that. I'm sure you already know that. Now, again, the service is more cost effective. My service, my best Forex Trade Copier service today, And moving forward and from here on out, my service is more cost effective for someone, a trader, who has the ability to execute standard lots, even just one standard lot. So if you're not too sure about what you need as far as the account size or the balance in your account, talk to your broker. Talk to your broker. Go to your broker first, because they're the ones who are going to set you up with your trading account. They're the ones who are going to give you the best advice about what your goals are. You can speak to them and tell them what you want. You can just tell them, I want to trade the equivalent of one standard lot, earning approximately $10 a pip. Back in the day, we used to call it the 100K accounts. That was what we used to call them. So you can run that by them. Their terminology might change a little bit over the years, but that's basically what you want to do, so that when you use my trade copier, the monthly service, the fee, is again more cost effective. It's going to make more sense. The monthly service, you can see that price on the purchase page. It is substantial. It is quite a bit. But again, it is not for somebody who has a $200 or a $500 or a $1,000 trading account. It's not going to make any sense for you to pay my monthly service. It is a monthly service. It is no longer a one-time purchase. It is a monthly service. Now, I no longer use FX Blue Trade Copier. That Trade Copier, that company, I'm not even going to get into it. I'm not even going to get into my experience and what I went through. It was a mess over the last, I'd say, year, and it got really bad through the holidays, the Christmas, and then shortly after the first of the year. It was a mess. There was something going on with their trade copiers, and it was. Yeah, there was just a lot of subscribers. They were saying that the trades were opening and closing, and I had no control over it. I couldn't get a lot of support. So I just want to share with you some of the experiences that we've had with some of the trade copiers. We've tried them. We've tried a lot of them. We've tried a lot of them over the years, and some of them are horrible. Some of them have these weird, like quirks in them. There was one trade copier that we used back in 2014 or 2015. And it was a service from some guy in Europe, I think over in Europe somewhere. And it was on his platform. And when I executed a trade, we started it off one day, and I told everybody that was on the first day that we were going to launch and use this one particular trade copier, I told everybody, let's use it on demo for today. For the next week, just use it on demo, So I executed a trade on the euro dollar, and I still had my chat room open at the same time while I'm executing these trades with this trade copier. I executed a trade with the euro dollar. And one of my I remember the guy, his name was Chris. He types in, "What are you doing?" And he puts a bunch of exclamation marks, like he was holding it down. And then he goes, "Why are you executing so many trades so fast? How are you doing this?" And then he starts saying my name in the chat room. And I'm looking at it, waiting for him to elaborate. Like I didn't know what he was saying. I just opened one trade, right, on the euro dollar. I didn't do anything other than what I would normally do. It was just one lot, just like I always do. And then there was feedback from other people in the chat room, and they're all saying, "Why are you opening up so many trades? How are you opening them up so fast?" is basically most people's comments. And I said, I turned on my microphone at that point, and I said, "I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I just opened up a trade on the euro dollar. Can you tell me what you see?" And they were telling me that this person, this company, this guy's trade copy that we were using, again, on demo, I told everybody to use the demo that day, it created a loop. And again, it wasn't on my computer. It was on his server, his platform, or wherever he was operating from. And it created a loop, and it kept executing the same size trade as long as there was sufficient capital in the account until it was all gone. It just kept going and going and going. It was weird. And I panicked, and I was really pissed, and so was everybody else. They wanted their money back because they had actually purchased the trade copier directly from this individual. So then he comes to me, and he says, "You owe me more money." So we all started fighting with this guy, and a lot of my subscribers were trying to get their money back from him. They didn't pay me directly, and that's how I set up this trade copier today. So the trade copier today is through Forex Solutions. They don't have the same problem that I just described. They don't. I actually asked them that before I considered using Forex Solutions, to make sure that they had things in place like a check system, an emergency stop, or something that would help you, the subscriber, turn off the trade copier if anything ever happened like that. If anything out of the ordinary, something that we couldn't even know would happen today, and that they probably couldn't even prepare for until the day it actually happens, because technology being what it is, there are these possibilities. So Forex Solutions is the company that we use. We use their trade copier. They are a trade copier server and service. Everything is hosted on their end. I don't have any control over it. I am not an affiliate for Forex Solutions. I actually have to pay a monthly fee to them too to use my trade copier. But what it does is once I have my account linked, of course, to their system, then you can link your trade copier to their system, which links it to my trading account. So when I execute trades, regardless of the time or day, which currency pair, you don't need VPS. You can close your computer. Once you have your MT4 trading account linked to the service, that's it. You're done. You're set up. You're ready to go. You can close your computer. You can turn it off. You don't have to worry about it. No VPS is required. It's all hosted on Forex Solutions servers. Now they have live chat support on their website. I believe it's 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. I think it's just email support on Saturday and Sunday. But they're great. They're really helpful people, very knowledgeable, and they've been around for a really long time. I know that they've been around for a long time. I've seen the company before, a long time ago. So they have been around for a long time. Very good company. Now, the fee to use Forex Solutions Trade Copier is approximately $30. I think it's $30 GBP. They're in the UK, so it's $30 per month. You have to pay them separately per month, but you pay me for my time for the monthly subscription per month. So you will have, if you use my service to get this all connected, you will have two charges every month. You'll be paying Forex Solutions their $30 every month to use their trade copier, and then you'll be paying me my monthly subscription fee so that you can get my trades. The way I've set this up now to give you a little protection and to protect me so that I don't have weird refund requests and things like that. There's been people that have said that I gave them a bad negative month and they lost like 150 points in a month. Well, first of all, that's not true because there are stop loss protection with the trade. So you can specify the leverage, the lot sizing, and even with the FX Blue trade copier that we were using prior to all of this, there was a maximum stop loss setting in there, and I don't use a stop loss that's larger than 55 pips on any trade. Very often, a lot of my other techniques and strategies like the HL30, I just use a 20 pip stop loss. So I never use a stop loss that's larger than 55 pips. So when some of these people would post on some of these websites, they would say, okay, well, in one trade, I lost like over 100 points. So I don't do that. Like the trade copier will close if it hits minus 155. So that wasn't really possible. But you know how things go. So anyway, a lot of them are competitors. A lot of them are affiliates. I see who they are. They come through. We just had this past year, for those of you who are aware, since Christmas, a lot of people were logging into my membership site. There was like 60 in a day one day, and people were passing out the links and they were joining the email list, and I was doing email trade alerts. So I had to turn all of that off, and I'm sorry for those of you who experienced that. This is a much better service. This is a much robust way for us to stay focused on who's in our system, and it lets me trade and lets me do my thing. That's what it really comes down to. Forex Solutions handles all of the technical issues. They will work with you when you can chat with them as you're setting up your MT4 account to their system. So they'll walk you through all the details. They'll check it and verify it to make sure that it's connected correctly, and I don't have to do any of it. Number one, I don't completely understand all of their software, their programming. I didn't build it. It's not mine. I just know that it works, and it works really well, and it's been around for a really long time. And a lot of my subscribers really, really like it that are using it with other services. So it's good for Forex Solutions to handle all of that technical support rather than me take away from my time trading and connect a trading account to it. I was actually doing it. That's why I kind of laughed. I was actually doing a lot of that myself, and I think that some of my subscribers really liked that. But at the same time, for those who wanted me to keep trading, that's what they want me to do. That's what I do. I trade. I'm a trader, and I really need to stay focused on that. So it really will help overall better the service, improve the performance, and improve obviously the number of pips every year that we're all going to close with. Now, it is true that in the past I have had years where I have closed over 35,000 pips in 1 month. So have some of my subscribers that have stuck with me throughout that entire year. In an entire year, I don't know if I said a month, I'm sorry if I said a month. In an entire year, 12 months, I have closed that year with over 35,000 pips in a single year. I don't do it every year. Some years, maybe it's only going to be 17 or 18,000 or 25,000. It really depends on the market. Remember, it really comes down to my ability, my ability to earn money and to protect capital. That comes down to my ability to know when I'm uncomfortable and when the market's shifting and doing things that that don't make any sense to me. If it doesn't make any sense to me and I can't find the source, I stay away from it. If I can find the source and that's the cause of the choppy and the messy activity, the price action that I see, again, I'm going to stay away from it. You can look at charts. I know you can see it today, and you can see really choppy activity for maybe a day or two, and you think to yourself, wow, I'm glad I didn't trade that. That would have been a mess. And that's really what I have focused in on, my ability to be able to detect that. My trading system, I have strategies and techniques and indicators. The indicators sort of point like in a leading direction. At that point, that just gives me the cause to investigate deeper. And when I find out either the reason why price is trending or why prices potentially could move into consolidation, or maybe I should stay away from it, these are the factors. These are the reasons why I stay away, or I can determine what strategies and techniques I need to use for the day. So again, we use Forex Solutions as our trade copier service. You pay for two services, their trade copier monthly, you pay for my service monthly. Now, when you first sign up, you get a 24-hour period to make a decision as to whether or not you want to continue with my service. You can cancel the service. You have to send us an email. The email address is on the purchase page. And within 24 hours, we'll see it. I've got Michael, who has been with me for a really long time. We'll see it. Either he will or I will. So 24 hours from the time you make your purchase, you can cancel and you get a 100% refund. If the 24-hour period passes, then you're not eligible for the refund, and then I will immediately begin trading for you, and then I trade for you for the rest of that month. And then I won't do a refund. I mean, if I'm going to wake up every day and I'm going to work every day and I'm trading for you and I'm doing this, I should get paid. You know what I mean? Honestly, I mean, that's the hard part, is that so many people would take, so much of your time. I mean, you can't do that. You can't do that with a business. You can't do that with a restaurant. You can't do that as a, air conditioning guy. You can't do it as a painter or a roofer. You can't do roofs for free. I mean, as much as you would like to help people, you just can't, and it's not possible. And it really does have an impact on the overall resources that the company can attain or can acquire to deliver the goods to you, to really give you the service that you really, really want. You want 800 or 1,000 or in some cases 2,000 pips in a single month, then it's going to really take a lot of time and a lot of resources, and ultimately it's going to cost money to buy a service like that. That's just the way it goes. That's the way everything goes. And it's appropriate, right? You're going to be making a lot of money with this trade copier service. My monthly fee for this service is nothing compared to even if you were to just use one standard lot in your trading account, and I make 4, 5, or 800 or 1,500 pips a month for you. Again, every month is going to vary. It's going to vary. Please remember when I say this, it's going to vary. Some months I can easily make 600 or 2,000 pips. It's just easy. It depends on what the market is providing me. And then other months, I might struggle and, I might not have a few trades for a few days out of the week, and then it'll kick in and we'll get some breakouts and then it'll stall. Short-lived activity sometimes, but overall still staying inside of consolidation, kind of describing a lot of the stuff that we've seen over the last few weeks now. It really depends. So it might take a little more work to make just 1,000 pips or even 800 pips in a month. Every month is different. You cannot tell somebody that you're going to make an exact number of pips every single month. We can say pretty much with a lot of confidence that we're going to always earn at least a certain number of pips. But to say what that number of pips every single month, how we're going to close it is very, very hard to do. Market changes. There's no way. I mean, the best traders in the world are going to be careful. They're going to sit around and they're going to analyze the data. They're going to make sure that they're trying to make the most calculated trading. Not only the opportunity, not only the trade, but the opportunity. Look for those opportunities when the market's providing them the signal that they know and that they're comfortable with. That's what it really all comes down to. So I've been talking quite a bit here. I apologize for that, but I appreciate you listening. Answer some of these questions. I do not trade Bitcoin anymore with this. So I did add Bitcoin to the Trade Copier service a while back, and it worked for a little while. But the problem was there's a lot of people in a lot of different countries that still don't have access to trade Bitcoin on their platform, MetaTrader platform. So I personally will trade Bitcoin, and I'll offer some suggestions and things like that, and I'll make comments, but I don't offer that with the Trade Copier service anymore. I might split it off and maybe do a different account somehow for those who have access to Bitcoin. And we'll have to pay attention to see, right? I mean, the way things are today may not be the way they are in 6 months from now. So it might be more widely accepted or applied to a lot more MT4 trading accounts with a lot of different brokers. So Bitcoin may be more available in the future, and then it might make sense for me to add it in. So I can't rule it out. So no more Bitcoin trades on. Yeah, it's just Forex. The Forex major pairs are the ones that I execute. The question was which currency pairs do I trade? So euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, pound yen, and euro yen. Those are the 6 primary currency pairs that I focus in on. Occasionally, I'll trade the Australian dollar, dollar Canadian. Even though I trade dollar Swiss, it doesn't mean I always get a trade on that one. Not as much as maybe some of the others, but I'm looking. That's the key. Is I'm looking. Things work in cycles. You know that if you've been trading for a while. Things move in cycles. Sometimes this dollar Swiss will move with a lot more consistency and clarity for me than some of the other majors. It just happens. And then some of the other times it's maybe short-lived moves. So it really depends. That's why I look at all of them. The dollar Canadian and the Australian dollar, I don't usually trade those all that often. I will trade them when something else may have an impact where we get a lot more activity, where the focus is going to be there. I don't trade the HL30 on the dollar Canadian and the Australian dollar. I trade the continuation breakout strategy. Other exotic currency pairs, no, I stay away from them. Back in 2007, when I had my chat room, the first chat room I opened up, I was trading like 16 different currency pairs. I was looking at a lot of them. I was looking at like the pound Swiss and just all kinds of different currency pairs. And I was trading a lot of them. I didn't get trades all the time on all of them, but I was looking for opportunities there. But I don't do that right now. It's just I make plenty of money. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of pips to be made every year just trading those 6 majors that I just described. They're listed on the FAQ page. Oh, yeah, the changes on the website. Thank you. Looks good. Okay, but yes, the changes on the website. Yeah, I think you're talking about that bar up at the top. So that's another thing that's changed over the last few months and things. So I'll start here. When I said that I am a trader and I just want to trade, I don't really want to mess around with a lot of the other things that are required. So when you run a business, right? You run a business and you do that business really well. That's your skill. But then you have to learn how to go out and market it or sell it on the internet or whatever it is that you're doing. That's a whole different component of running your business. And as much as I like a lot of that stuff and it's interesting, I am a trader and all I want to do is trade. So one of the things that's happened over the last few months is, for example, Facebook stopped allowing traders or Forex advertising. And I think I heard Google did the same thing just because of all of the fraud. But Forex isn't the only place where there's going to be fraud, right? I mean, there's a lot of online fraud, a lot of fake stuff. It's easy to do. A lot of my stuff, and this is something else that why I shut down over the last 6 months and I stopped allowing more people or new subscribers into my coaching programs. A lot of the material that I have, and I just made it available for years and years and years on the internet, it was repackaged, and there was a group of people down in Georgia and Florida that were running around taking pictures in front of Lamborghinis and in front of Rolls Royces and Jaguars. They looked like they were rappers gone traders, something like that. I mean, that's what they were doing. It was weird, and these guys were like running live Facebook webinars and Zoom webinars and things like that, and they were teaching my strategies. I was looking right at it. I joined one night, and I went, I cannot believe what I like. This guy's not even trying to hide it. He's just calling it the same thing that I call it. It's weird. So I thought, wow, this is like, I sat back and kind of laughed, and that's not the first time I've seen it. I mean, I've seen my stuff repackaged, and even the words and the way I type some of the stuff that you see on my website. I write a lot of that, and then I have a web developer make the website, right? So I write a lot of that out, or I type it out, and I see the words that I use actually taken in books and things like that. And that's okay, right? That part doesn't bother me, but what bothers me is when people start to then say that I'm the fool and the liar who didn't put it together. You know what I mean? That I didn't develop it, because it scares me that these people are going to follow those individuals. And there are some real key details that you need to know about some of these trading systems. So if I make a video and I explain how I use or execute one of my techniques, there's also the whole side of where I learned when not to trade it, right? When to stay away from it. What are the signals? How can you improve the failure rate on some of these trades? And that's something that these guys don't know, and they're not teaching. And then people run out there and go try these techniques on live accounts, and then you can blow up a trading account if you think, if your mentality is, well, it's got to work, I saw it work, and then you hold on to the trade, you can end up with a margin call. So you got to be careful. Anyway, so it's really got out of control. But back to the changes on the website, I mean, there was a lot of things that were happening, so I had to shut down the membership site because, as I said, in one day we had 65 people join that shouldn't have even been there. Somebody was passing out the membership site link, and they were all joining in, and we had to kick them all out, and it just kept happening. It was like day after day after day. They kept showing up, and I couldn't find out the source. I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know who it was that was on my list. Obviously, it was somebody who paid for the service at one time, and but it was just going on and on and on, and it was a mess. So a lot of things have changed. Right now, I don't have the trading course available to the public. It's just available to the people who have purchased it. But if you're interested in my trading system, I have my books on Amazon. One of them, the Learn Forex, How to Make 1,000 Pips a Month and Keep It, that walks you through the main trading techniques that I use every day. I have a few other strategies that I have always used, but those are the primary techniques that I use, and you can get a pretty good idea of what I'm doing there. It's designed to teach you how to do it and to give you a really good taste for it. But remember, I mean, there's a lot of things behind the scenes that you've got to be aware of, and you've got to learn so that you can improve, the winning ratios, and to also know when to stay away from executing certain trades because they may not work in certain trading environments. That is this bar up here. When you click that checkbox on every page, you click OK, and it should disappear. Yeah, it disappears. That is on every page right now, and that might change in the future. And that's something else that I want to let you know, is that the trades themselves are not going to change. I'm always going to trade the same way that I trade, right? That's me. It's who I am. It's how I trade. But the service, if technology changes or requirements change, that could dictate how we provide the service. You know what I mean? That there's that factor there. Transparency, whatever. Things changed in 2010. No, you can't. The question was, can I just make one payment and pay you for the trade copier service as well? No, you have to purchase the monthly subscription from Forex Solutions separately. I don't want any mistake that you chose to do this. I want to make sure that if you choose to use my service, that you did it on your own free will, that you knew what you were doing, and you're aware of what's going on. I want this to be as transparent as possible. I want you to make as much money as I make with it. One of the biggest advantages is that you shouldn't miss any trades. And there won't be that inversion or missed trades or whatever, where trades are opening and closing like we were experiencing with Forex FX Blue. There was a lot of weird things that were happening with that little trade copier, but now we have answers, right? If you see something strange in your trading platform and it's not what I did, Forex Solutions can give you the reason why it happened. They can investigate it. They see my platform, which keeps me accountable, and they see your platform, which will explain what's going on there. They see it all. So that's what I really like about it, is that there's a lot more open, transparent. The whole transaction is all transparent. Not just my trades, but your decision to use my trade copier. Uh, no refund, right? No refund except for the first 24 hours. So from the time you purchase, you get 24 hours to change your mind. If you change your mind, let us know, send us an email, and then we'll just hit the refund button. After the first 24 hours, then I start trading your account. From that point on, that's my payment for trading for you for 30 days. Oh, no, you are not automatically rebilled. That's another thing that I did that I thought was a good safety feature for you, the subscriber, so that you don't have to worry about being rebilled. I know a lot of times, and I do it too sometimes when I'm buying some of these services, I think to myself, okay, what if these guys don't pay attention? What if they're not on it? And I don't want to get charged again. Like, I don't want to get stuck in that loop where these guys won't let me go. When you make a purchase on my purchase page, that charges you one time and one time only. That charge, that fee, when you make that payment. So in 30 days, you will not, I repeat, you will not be automatically rebilled or charged again on your credit card. In order for you to continue to use my service again for the following month, you have to pay and go to the purchase page again. We send you a notice 5 days before your membership expires, and we give you the link straight back to the purchase page, and we tell you if you want to continue, just click and make the purchase today. And then we send you another email reminder on the day that it actually expires. And we tell you today is your last day. It expires tonight, and tomorrow I won't be trading for you if you don't go back to the purchase page and sign back up again. So that's a really good feature. It protects you so that you know you're not locked into some weird contract, or you're never going to, you have to call your bank and cancel it or whatever to get out of it. I've been in situations like that where I get onto some of these services and they never respond, and yeah. Well, the price is on the purchase page. Yeah, if you click on the purchase page right now, the navigational button up at the top or at the bottom of the page, it'll take you to the purchase page, and there you can see the price. Yeah, it is. It is more. It's a lot more than $199. $199 back in the day, prior to all of this, I charged $199 one-time payment for years and years and years. I did it for a long time. A lot of people would ask me, "Why do you do that?" And some people would even say to me, "I don't trust you. Like, why would you just do that one time? Like, all these other services are charging monthly. How could a trader stay in existence? Why would you do that?" And a lot of the subscribers actually joined my coaching program. And prior, when I had a managed fund, back when it was really easy to start managed funds, a lot of those people joined my managed fund because of the trade copier. Yeah, it was like a value ladder, right? They call it a value ladder, where you start off with, a product here, and then you upsell them as they see, the value in your services and stuff like that. Yeah, it worked out really well. I mean, it was easy, and it gave people an opportunity to test me out and try it out. No, the trade copier is no longer, the old version is no longer available. I don't support it. I don't trade it. It's no longer available. You have a subscription before the change. Wait, can you? Yeah, I think you're talking about, can you continue to use the service without paying the new subscription now? My new monthly fee. If you purchased the trade copier at $199, and I told you you had lifetime membership to it, yes, you can use my service today with the Forex Solutions service, but you won't have to pay me my monthly fee. I know that sounds crazy. I've already been I've already told I've already been told I shouldn't do that, but I did. If you bought it at lifetime subscription before all of this, before all of these changes, May 22nd, then yeah, I will honor that. And all you have to do is just make the payment to Forex Solutions monthly payment. Remember, it's about $30 approximately monthly, and then you don't have to pay me. Yeah, there's a lot of people. Yep. I know. Moving forward, though, I mean, it is a monthly service from now on, and it's worth it. It really is. I mean, it's like I said, 1,000 pips a month is in my mind when I know that I'm trading for a subscriber. My personal account, and again, I'm not reckless, but I'm a lot more aggressive, and I'll put more time in. That's what it means. So if we're aiming for 1,000 or more, and I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to get 1,000 pips every month. That's not what I'm saying. There are some times during the year that I cut back on my trading. This is something else I need you to know, where my lifestyle changes. So I've got a big family. I've got grandchildren now, and my family's grown over the years since I've been trading. And it's very, very important for me to spend more time with my family, which means that I'm not trading as much. Now, I don't need to trade as much as I did in the first year of my trading career to make as much money as I do today as far as the number of pips. Because I know I've really settled into knowing exactly how there's a rhythm to all of this very often. And again, when that rhythm is unbalanced and it shifts, then I know there's a change in the market. That's how sensitive I become to it. And when I find that rhythm stays consistent, I know when I can spend more time with my family, I can do more things. So, I might look at a few trades and I might say, okay, well, I can see where this trade's probably likely to go. But do I want to go to Disneyland with my family this weekend, or Friday or Thursday night or something like that for dinner? And is this trade's only going to pay 20, 30 points? I'm going to skip on that trade every once in a while. So I don't want it to upset you, because I know you want to make as much money as you can from this, but I need to be as honest as possible about who I am and how I'm trading this, because it's going to reflect on what you receive every month, what you get as far as the performance. Again, my goal is to try to get everybody about 1,000 pips. It might be 800 pips. It might be 2,000 pips on a certain month when these months are really hot and things are clicking off really well. But again, there's no reason at any time where I'm going to end up with about less than, or I'm always going to get at least 10,000 pips or more. From now on, right? Yeah. Well, there was a couple of, a year ago, I didn't stop trading myself, but I stopped trading for the service. The websites went down. Yeah, I couldn't, yeah, nobody had access to it. There was a malware right after the first of the year, and all of my websites went down. I didn't understand what it was, but we couldn't get them back up. It took a long time to figure it out. At least for me, I didn't know what was going on with it. So there was no performance. Yeah. Um, no, we haven't had any issues with the trade copier with Forex Solutions so far. I have been testing it out over the last 2 months or so, and we haven't had any issues with it. No problems at all. And again, if anything ever was to happen, like what I described with that loop where it kept firing off all of those trades until all the money was gone in the account, uh, Forex Solutions is there to shut it down, to stop it, and then you can go after them. uh, they're really good. They're a good company. They're really good people. I like chatting with them. They're really informative. They're very patient. I've asked the same question over and over again, and being on their end, I know what it's like to get asked the same question over and over again. You get tired of it, but it's part of the it's part of the game. It's part of the business. People come along, they just don't get it, and it takes a little while to understand what it is. So yeah, they're really, really patient. They're really good people. Um, yeah, I believe it's 24 hours a day technical support service, and you deal with them directly. I won't help you set up your trade copier. They do. They'll tell you what to do. So again, if you're concerned about your leverage and lot sizing and things like that, and you want to know what size account you should be trading, or lot size, you need to speak to your broker first. That's where I always recommend you go to. That is where you have your money, and you need to speak to them. You need to get information from your broker. Ask your broker. Again, if you want to use my service and you want to trade approximately or the equivalent to a standard lot, talk to your broker. Find out how much money you need to safely have in your account, the capital, overall capital, so that you can have a standard lot executed on your account, and it's not going to have a big impact if you experience, let's say, a 55 pip loss. Let's say it happens. Every once in a while I do get hit with a 55 pip stop loss. No, it's not. I don't even do that every month. No, it's been like months. I'll go maybe sometimes 6 months before I even come close to getting stuck in a minus 55 pip stop loss trade. But that's the biggest size stop loss that I use. I won't take a trade, even if I know where it's likely to go. I can see where price is going. If the stop loss, and I can see that there's a possibility economic data right after I get into the trade could spike price more than 55 pips, even if I know where it's probably going to go. But the retest or the spike, the reaction off of news could be more than 55 pips. As hard as it is to stay away from the trade, I stay away from the trade because I know that there's that possibility. Like let's say non-farm payrolls, right? That has the potential to spike more than 55 pips. And if there's that potential, then I'm going to stay away from it. I'm going to wait till after non-farm payrolls, even if I know where it's probably going to go. Yeah, it's frustrating sometimes. It can be. I've been there. I had to learn the hard way to sit on my hands, but it's the safest way to go. It's what kept me in this game all of these years, that ability to do that. It is hard. It is it is very hard. I don't call trades anymore live. Nope, I don't do that anymore. I don't provide that anymore. That was another thing that I experienced back in 2008 and 9. I had a student in my chat room that I got really close to. I really had a good relationship with her, a really good trader. She learned a lot from me and gave me a lot of, she credited me for really helping her. And I thought I had a really good connection with her. And another student in the chat room told me about this chat room, and he goes, here, you need to log in with my details. You need to see what's happening. So as I was calling out all of these live trades in my chat room, she went off with a group of other guys. I think it was 2 other guys, and they opened up their own chat room. They were basically calling out my trades right after I called out my trades, and she was in my chat room. It was weird. I called out a trade, and then I saw it there typed in this other chat room. Yeah, I've seen a lot of really weird things. I smiled and I laughed. Other times I got mad, and then I just learned to just let it all go. I mean, you can't lock it all away. If you're going to be putting it out on the internet. Can I talk more about the company that I bought the trading course from, if they're still in business? I won't say the name of the company. Some of you do know who they are. You've asked me about them. They're in Florida. I will tell you that. They've been around for a long time. Back in 2001, supposedly, that company was in business, I'm guessing, at least 5 years. So back in 97, they were probably around. So my experience in that chat room with that company, yeah, I lost a lot of money. So many of you have probably watched a video where I talk about one night when I was trading and I lost a lot of money in this chat room, and I went into the bathroom and I didn't want to wake up my family, and I was staring at myself in the mirror. True story. And I was so pissed off. I had lost like thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars this one week, and I was taking all of these trades with this company. Yeah, I'll answer that in just a moment. The account balance, yeah, this was a few years after. Okay, so this was back in 2001 in this chat room, and I was pissed, and so I was able to get the emails from some of the people that were in the chat room. We weren't supposed to post our emails in the chat room, but every once in a while somebody would do it, and when they would do it, I would screenshot so I could grab that email, and then I would email the guy later, right? They would immediately delete it if you did it. They didn't want any links in the chat room or any emails in the chat room because they didn't want people talking behind. But that's how I was able to find a few people that were in the chat room, and I would communicate with them, and they would tell me their experience. So anyway, so finally I had it this one night, and it was like right after economic data during the London session, which would have been about 4:30 New York time, which is 1:30 California time. So this guy calls a trade to go long. No reason why. It's just moving, right? I know he wasn't looking at the data. And he probably, whatever it was, maybe he just refreshed the page. I mean, everybody was going to these websites back then in 2001, and they were just refreshing the page. But it would take a long time for them to come back sometimes, for the refreshing, the data, for them to upload it. And it just was so different than today. Anyway, I lost more, and this trade just kept going more and more and more negative, and I was just so angry. So I got up, and after another loss of thousands of dollars in my trading account. I'm trading standard lots, right? I'm trading at that point over 5 standard lots. And I wanted to scream, and I didn't want to wake up my family. I didn't want to scare anybody. My family's counting on me to make money. They don't know when I'm going to start making money consistently, and don't want to panic the wife or anybody else. So I go into the bathroom, I shut the door, and I lost it, man. And I'm not a crybaby in any way, but I just didn't know what to do. Like I just went, no, I don't understand why I can't control what is happening here. That was like the thought that was running through my head, and you can hear the frustration in my voice. I can almost get myself as angry as that night. And you probably know exactly what I'm talking about if you've gone and experienced this. And I looked up in the mirror and I just thought, what in the hell are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, you've spent all of this money buying books. You spent all of this money in this chat room. You spent all of this money in this trading course. What are you going to do? So I sat there and I thought to myself, I know people. I knew at that time people who were traders. Now, they were trading at a different level than me, and they weren't really capable of helping me. I mean, what I was doing was different than what they were doing. But they were traders. I met them through my family, and I knew that they were successfully running funds. And I knew that I could do this. I knew that there was something that they were doing different somewhere that I was missing. So I look in the mirror, I'm pointing at myself, and I go, don't ever forget this moment. Like, you remember this into the future. Don't you ever forget. I can look straight forward and almost like I'm looking at my eyeballs in the mirror. That was my connection. I knew that forward thinking, there was me in the future doing this, talking just like I am today, remembering what I went through. And being able to share that pain and that experience so that you know maybe what to avoid, or to share it with you, you know what I'm talking about and what I did to fix it. So I came out of the bathroom, I logged out of the chat room. I didn't say anything. Like, normally, when some of these guys would sign off when we were all friends, we go, okay, that's it for me. I'm done for tonight. We'd say bye. See you guys all tomorrow. See you guys all whatever, New York session or something like that. So I just closed the chat room, and then I opened up an email and I sent it to the company. I said, don't charge my credit card for another monthly subscription to your chat room. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. That was my thinking, but I said, don't charge my credit card. I'm done. I cancel my service. So I didn't trade at all for 2 days, but I just sat there watching price, and I woke up at the same time to trade, during the London session, and kept doing my normal routine. And I kept thinking to myself, there's got to be something here. There's something here. All of the information is around me. It has to be there. I just need to understand what's going on, what this whole market thing is about. Like, I need to know more about it. What makes it work? I had read enough books on economics about what makes price work and things like that. And I thought, now I really need to understand it. I need to know when somebody speaks and I hear them talk on CNBC, I need to know what the hell they're talking about. Like, I need to know this. And that's really where I started. I built my whole trading system just like that. Like, I didn't build these indicators, of course. I didn't create them, but I learned about them. I studied them. I learned and figured out which ones I needed. And there are some really great traders. Like, you've probably heard me talk about John Bollinger. I really like this guy. His mindset and his approach to trading is very, very technical, which I am. I like that. But also very realistic to a certain degree. Like, understanding that you're looking for the best opportunities for you, right? You're looking for the best opportunity to, and I write it in some of the books the way he words that, but that's what you're really doing. You're staying away from what you don't understand, and you're staying away from what could get you normally into trouble, because you don't have a trading system in place for something like that. But you do what you know to do, or what makes you feel good, what is obvious to you. And then from there, you continue to grow and you can expand. You can expand on that. And I knew that. That's what I kept telling myself. Just start small, start slow. My first trading technique was the continuation breakout trade. That's the one that makes me a lot of money. Like, over the last few months, I've used that repeatedly. And then when it goes into consolidation, I tend to use the Tech 1 trade and the HL30. HL30 I use it on a 30-minute chart. So my time frames are a 30-minute chart, 1 hour chart, 4 hour chart, and daily chart. Watching the daily chart and the 4 hour chart, just to confirm, again, I said that there's really no swing trades with this trading system, with this trade copier. I do personally on other accounts trade, and I can hold, Bitcoin. I did Bitcoin. I traded the continuation breakout trade over and over and over again. I mean, back in April 2017 is when things really started to pick up and we were trading breakouts. And obviously I was holding on to a lot of those trades for a while. But this is basically day trading, the service. It only takes a few minutes. It only takes a few minutes to connect your trade copier. It's really, really easy. Like, it's really easy. Okay, so as soon as you're done with your purchase, I give you, yeah, that's a good question. Sorry, I didn't elaborate on that. I'm sorry about that. So the flow is you're going to go to the purchase page, you're going to sign up, you're going to make your purchase. Now, that's another thing that I continue to use, and I know I get a lot of feedback, sometimes negative, that I'm using Skrill. So I also use Skrill because Skrill has adjusted to some of the things in the Forex industry over the last 10 years or so or whatever. I've been using them for a long time. They process more uh, countries overseas. I'm again in the United States. They process a lot more countries than PayPal has. A lot of countries that my subscribers are from, PayPal won't accept their credit cards. Skrill does. So that's the number one thing. The other thing is that Skrill has made some adjustments to the way they do their transactions so that it's more compliant because of all of the fraud and all of this stuff. So before 2010, a lot of traders were opening up trading accounts with their credit cards, and in the United States, they put some things in place where you couldn't do that anymore. They didn't want people doing that. It was just crazy, for a lack of a better word. It was too easy for people to open up trading accounts and then blow up their trading accounts. And so they're trying to put some protective measures in place, and Skrill has adjusted to that. And that's why they make it a little more complicated. Like, you have to enter in your email or create a little Skrill account. But that's not a bad idea, because if you're going to continue to use my trade copier service, you're going to go back to the purchase page month after month to make the purchase, and you're already going to have an account with them. And each time you make the purchase after that, it's going to be easier than the first time. So that's the first thing to be aware of first there. And other than that, once you get it working, it's a pretty simple process. Now, if Skrill rejects your purchase, there's a few things that I want you to try and that we suggest. Try using a different browser. So if you're using Firefox, try using Chrome. If you're using Chrome, try using Firefox or something like that. That's the first thing. The other thing is just make sure that everything's entered in correctly. And then also be aware that it could be your bank that's blocking the transaction for protection reasons. That's something else that I learned over the last 8 months or so, is that a lot of banks were stopping the transaction from going through when it had anything to do, if they could detect that it was Forex or something like that. What they're doing is they're actually finding and labeling domains and company names by the domain. So the domain, obviously it's a Forex and it's a trade copier, but it's getting listed. That's what I'm being told, is that a lot of these companies, and Facebook is doing the same thing, they're able to they're gathering more data than just what we thought that they were gathering at first, right? We thought maybe they were just watching how people were behaving on websites, but they're also gathering and labeling websites and domains, is what I'm being told. So speaking to some credit card processing companies, they're trying to make it a little more difficult for high risk industries for obvious reasons, but be aware that it could be your bank. It may not even be Skrill. So you might, in some cases, and I've seen this happen quite a bit, in some cases, all you really need to do, if Skrill rejects your initial first time attempt to try to make the purchase, call your bank. Call your bank and tell them that you're trying to make a purchase, and on this website, tell them the name of the company. They'll ask you the questions anyway, and then tell them the dollar amount, and just go, can you please let this go? Like it's a verbal approval or something, whatever it is that they call it, and then go back in or try to do it while you're on the phone with them, and then see if they can see the transaction or any error codes that they can detect with the transaction. Skrill themselves are a little hard for me to get a hold of because they're in the UK. But other than that, when the transactions go through, everything's really simple. Okay, so then you make your purchase, and then I give you that 24 hours. But right away, you get access to the membership page, the site, and then there's a link that you follow through the email. We only give it. I'm not going to make those mistakes that I made last time, because everybody would be spreading out this link to everybody. You get a link, and then it'll send you straight to Forex Solutions page, and there's in the coding, it will know to link your account, your MT4 account, to my MT4 account through their system. Forex Solutions handles all that. Yeah. Well, okay, so yes, so as soon as you're done purchasing, you go straight to the membership page, and then you get that email with the link to go add your MT4 account. So you'll see how it works, and that all happens right away, like within minutes after you make the purchase. But you won't see any trades in your account for the first 24 hours until you get that 24-hour decision period where you could ask for a refund if you wanted to. So even though you have your account linked, yeah, right. So the question was, why even bother? But it is free. I did that. I wanted to do that like as a protection measure for you, so that if you think about it, it's kind of a lot of money to pay for a service like this. But I'm going to kick ass. I'm going to make you a lot of money as long as I can focus on what I'm doing and I'm allowed to do my thing. I'm going to trade my account, which means if your account's linked to mine and we're using a good trade copier service like this, like Forex Solutions, you're going to get pretty much the same results that I do. You can change the lot sizing on it, of course. Now, I can't stop you from using a mini or a micro lot size. You can do whatever you want. You can set it up any way you want. But to make it cost effective, because of what I'm charging for this monthly service, it would make more sense to do it on something like a standard lot. That's why I say or suggest that it's better off you have the ability to execute a standard lot. You can do half a standard lot. You can change it. Absolutely. Yeah, you can change it. You can use micros and minis. That is all up to you. But just be aware that I'm not going to change the monthly fee. It still is what it is for my service. Yes, absolutely. Right. So there's that 24-hour period where you get to make a decision about whether or not you want to buy it. Yeah, you can cancel during that time and we give you a full refund. After the first 24 hours has passed from the time you purchased, then I start trading, and at that point you're not eligible for the refund. And you can cancel at any time and you can turn it off. So you can go to Forex Solutions and tell them to disconnect your trading account from mine. You can tell them to do that right away. Yeah, there's nothing to stop you from that. No, I won't. No refunds after the first 24 hours. How many bad trades do I have in a row? It's possible that I could have 2 bad trades in a row. It is possible. But I'm not going to keep doing it like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. No, I don't do that. Okay, so I make the comment that I can usually earn back a loss on the very next trade or 2, as long as I wait for the trade to come to me. So let's say I have a trade, doesn't work out, whether it's a continuation breakout trade or not. Very often, even if a continuation breakout trade, if it doesn't work, I can see that it's not going to work. So I don't need to let it hit the 55 pip stop loss. I can shut it down and close that bad trade with like minus 27 or minus 37. So let's say we have a minus 37 pip loss on a trade. And it's towards the end of the New York session, right? And then I stop. I'll cover the hours in just a minute that I trade. So, and then I stop trading for the day, and then, it's quiet. I take a break, and then I come back to trade during the London session, and then I get an HL30, let's say, or something like that. If the HL30 only pays 20 points, then obviously I can only make 20 points on that trade, right? And we still have a minus 37, so I've got 17 points still to catch up on. That's why I say I could make back the loss on the very next trade or 2, as long as I wait for the trades to come to me. I'm not going to go in and revenge trade. No, I don't do that. So the hours that I trade, no. Okay, so most of the trading, so if we look at, let's take the continuation breakout trade, that particular strategy, that very often will either develop, the signal itself will develop prior to economic data, maybe an hour or 2, sometimes 3. Sometimes it'll happen before non-farm payrolls, and then I'll get into the trade, and then the news is, and you've probably heard me say this before, the fuel that pushes price to its target, its expected target. And then other times I don't get a signal prior to economic data, and I have to wait until after economic data, and then the reaction, right, up or down, whatever it does, then that will sometimes set up a signal for me, and it can develop and turn into a continuation breakout trade. So very often, and it doesn't mean all the time, but very often, the continuation breakout trades will develop during the New York session. That's when we get a lot more participation. I can see more volume behind the trades. I'm much more comfortable. The trades are going to move a lot more smoother to their expected targets. So the trades will, they only need to be they only stay open maybe anywhere from 3 hours or an hour and a half to maybe sometimes 5 hours. It's not necessary that, right. There's more volume, And I say there's a lot more participation during those hours, a New York trading session. That overlap, correct? So a lot of times the trades will reach their expected target within just a couple of hours, or maybe 5 or 6. Other times, though, again, the market might, just change. It's got nothing to do with me. We see it move, it rallies, and then stalls, and then it goes sideways. And then it's going to take till maybe the Asian session. Now, if I have a trade that's open like that, yes, I will continue to manage the trade. Yeah, I put stop loss and take profit targets on them. Yes. I open and execute my trades at market. Yeah, and then I set in the stop loss and take profit level. Um, so yes, most of my trades will happen during the New York session. And honestly, I prefer. So I mentioned that sometimes I go through cycles where I might be trading less during certain sessions, and that's also another cycle that you can see. Sometimes you can see that you get a little more activity depending on what's going on. It could be economics, it could be political, it could be market activity, it could be holidays. A lot of different things have an impact. And then it's global, right? Things might shift. We might see a little more activity and breakouts during the Asian session, and then nothing happens during the London or New York session, just except for maybe a little bit of bouncing around. And then other times that whole situation shifts, and then we get the breakouts during the New York session, and then the Asian sessions are kind of quiet. Yes, it's yeah. So sometimes during the Asian session, I may not feel like trading, to be totally honest. Now, I've got to be. This is another thing. Total transparency, and this is for those of you who want to trade and you want to do it yourself. Uh, the first few years of my trading career, I traded around the clock, and I make the joke that what's his name? I think he's changed his name a couple times, but I'm totally going to get it wrong because I don't even follow this guy. He's a rapper, that P. Diddy guy. And there's a few other people that say it. But, a lot of these guys will say, oh, I'm just going to work and work and work. I want to make a lot of money and I'll sleep when I'm dead, right? And I didn't have that attitude because of them, but I had that attitude when I first started trading. All I wanted to do was trade. So I used to basically sleep with the computer next to my head. I mean, um, I would have it on a nightstand. I was afraid to miss trades if I wasn't in a trade, so I had my alarms and my alerts, on. And then if I was in a trade, I was afraid to go to sleep because I didn't know what was going to happen, right? And I would sleep around the clock like that. I would trade around the clock like that. So sometimes it wasn't uncommon for me to go, um, maybe just getting 2, 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours of sleep in a 24-hour period, and I did that for a long time, and I would do it a lot during the week, and it was okay for a while, but it was really bad. And some of you may know who Joe Rogan is. So on YouTube, I watch his show on YouTube, and he was talking to, and I highly recommend that you do this. So he was talking to a scientist, a sleep scientist. I don't know what the guy specializes in. I forget, and he's got a book on Amazon, but it was fascinating, and it changed my life. This was just a little while ago, but I was already into it, and I was reading and studying a lot about it before anyway. So it changed. It really, really solidified that I need 8, 9 hours of sleep if I can get it. So I changed a lot of that, and it really comes down to controlling it. Now, I know a lot of people don't believe in it. A lot of people don't care, but I do. I do now, and I went years and years and years doing it the other way around, and I want to live the rest of my life doing it right. Right for my health, my mind. I don't want problems in the future. Like, I want to live as long as I possibly can. I want to trade for as long as I possibly can. And I'm the type of individual that likes to optimize everything, including my life, my thinking, my reading. Some of you may have heard the story. And this is something else, another tip that you might, if you're just starting out. When I first started trading, I bought the IQ speed reading program. Right now it's, I think, Infinite Minds. And I got up to like 5,000 words a minute. Because it was a lot of reading, right? A lot of understanding, a lot of reading. So all of these things, I'm always looking for ways to optimize different parts of my life so that I can perform better, so that I can do this better. And it really comes down to sleeping. So sleeping, there are going to be times when I'm looking at the Asian session, and even if I think it's going to be slow or quiet, I'll stay away from it. And I could be wrong. Something could happen while I'm sleeping, and I just might miss a trade. So please be aware of that. Forgive me if I miss the trade. There's always going to be another one. There's always going to be another one. But again, we will hit our marks annually. I will always make my service worth it. If you're paying for my monthly service, I will always make it cost effective and worth it for you. No, it is not mandatory that you use standard lots. It is not. I can't make you use the lot sizing that I'm recommending. I'm just saying that, again, based on how much I'm charging monthly for this service, it would make more sense for you to be trading approximately a standard lot, especially if you're looking to replace your income, especially if you're here in the United States. Um, yes, you can use you can use minis and then just add the number of lots to that. Sure, sure. Yeah, it's all up to you. I mean, as long as you are aware. The other reason why I changed my service this way, and I'm doing it this way with all these different points to I call it like checks and balances, right? So that you can really stop and think about it. I want you to be aware that you're making this decision. Yeah, I want you to be informed. I want you to know who I am and what I'm doing with it, right? I want you to know why I'm trading the way I'm trading. And the only way for me to continue to trade year after year after year like this is if I take care of myself, right? I've got to take care of me. I've got to take care of my family. I don't want to be miserable. I don't want to be unhappy. You know what? Honestly, I did that. I did that for a long time. I stayed away from going places with my family on the weekends. It had to be done in order for me to get to where I am today. At least for me personally. Maybe you don't have to do it that way. Everybody's different. But I don't want to ruin my health, and I don't want to be miserable. I love trading, and I want to do this forever. And if you want to do it with me and you want to use my service, this is the way I have to do it. So, you know, for me to say this to you all is very different than how I used to sort of pitch it or approach the way I communicated what I was doing in the beginning, back in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. I was sort of afraid to communicate a lot of that. I didn't want to scare people away. It wasn't that I wanted to trick people into doing it. I didn't want that. It's just that I thought, okay, well, what if these people don't like me? That was a new experience for me. And then I thought, well, especially lately, I've matured quite a bit in this business, and it is what gives me the opportunity to provide for you the service to you. You know what I mean? To provide the best that I can give you. Is nobody else is going to step in and do it for me, right? Nobody else is going to step in here and do these trades for me. I have to do it, and I have to, I'm accountable. I still operate a small family office, a private fund. I'm accountable. You know what I mean? I really have to do this. They like seeing me. These people that I communicate and I'm friends with that are in my fund for years and years. They like seeing this growth and this a change. It's sort of refreshing, not only for me but for them. I can see it. I can see that they can appreciate it, and they're a lot more comfortable. So that that I'm not this fool who's going to be sitting, at a laptop just like firing off all these trades, just trying to make as much money as possible to get like some performance statement on Facebook, and then just try to get a bunch of people in my service. The price, yes, the price is to exactly. It will definitely minimize the number of people that are coming through my service, and that's another thing that I wanted. Yeah, it's not for everybody. My service is not for everybody, and the way I trade is not for everybody. I do not sit around and scalp, and I'm not going to post performances like crazy on Facebook and snapshots of my, cell phone MetaTrader micro account with $17 on a trade. I won't do that. Oh, yeah, so back to thanks for reminding me. Yes, so the statement, he's talking about the statement of my trading account in 2005. Yeah, that was real money. So the question also was the dollar amount that I had in my trading account. So this might give you an idea of what I'm doing. So I talk about very often when I first started trading, I started trading 5 lots. So when I made the $40,000 that morning in 2005, that was, and now, I've made more money before that, and I make a lot more money since then. I mean, that was a long time ago. But it was a very important moment for me. It wasn't so much that I made that much money. That was great, but that was a day that I made the decision to start coaching people and start teaching people. Yeah, that was really why it was such a monumental morning for me. Yeah, that day. Well, the decision was finally at night. Yeah, it was an experience for the whole day that I just really sat and thought about it. I had a close friend that wanted me to teach them, and then when I made that money, the wife told her friend, and he found out. Yeah, so it kind of fed on itself. Yeah, that was real money. So I had about 600, just under 600, about $600,000 in my trading account. Real money, real money. Yes, yep, 600. Yeah, $600,000. I didn't. No, I didn't dump $600,000 in my first. Yeah, I sort of eased into it, and I did. I did blow up two of those trading accounts in the beginning. No, there was not $600,000 in the trading accounts at that time when I blew them up, but that was at the beginning of my trading career. Um, no, no, we don't do any support. We don't personally. I will always send you straight to Forex Solutions if you have any issues with Trade Copier, because it really is something that they need to answer, and they can research. They can see what you're doing on your end and what I'm doing. So they're going to keep me honest and transparent, and they'll feed you the information. If they see something weird and I tell you something, they'll tell you. You know what I mean? It's easy to catch somebody in a situation like this because they see what's going on my trading platform. Yes, absolutely. Yep, yep. Yeah. No, it's no longer a one-time fee. Yeah. If you came in late to this presentation, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm talking a long time here on this one. It was just going to be, yeah. I will. Yes, I will do I do have a webinar scheduled where I'm going to walk you through my trading techniques. Again, remember, when I walk you through those trading techniques and I tell you, okay, I'm going to show you my setup. I'll show you my setup, but there's a lot of things that I'm leaving out, right? For example, just with the HL30, I explain very often when I show you the HL30, I'm going to show you the setup and the entry and the indicators and things like that, and what to look for and what time frame. But there's like 3 different methods that I use aside from the initial setup that will show me or point to the possibility that an HL30 would probably fail. So it's like an additional checklist. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and that I would just go on and on. You know, I could talk about that for a whole day. Yeah, if I was going to go down that road with all those setups and techniques. So I will have another webinar where I'm going to walk you through the strategy so you can get an idea. But you can get a really good idea of what I'm doing anyway with the videos that are posted on this page. The videos that are posted on this page are the same techniques. I mean, the continuation breakout trade, the HL30, the Tech 1 trade. Now, the Tech 1 trade, I've got some variations. I've got a T2 pattern and a T3, and I've got a few other little things. I've got a ghost pattern with the CCI that I trade. Yes. I'll explain exactly what I'm doing with the trade copiers. Updates. Yes, updates. Updates are daily. Occasionally, I might miss an update, so, just be aware if I'm busy with family or something like that, I might miss an update that night. But you're going to see it. Every trade is going to be in your trading account. You're not going to miss a trade as long as you use the Forex Solutions. You're going to see it. So I won't be saying, oh, I had this trade and you guys must have missed it somehow. That was with the Forex Trade Copier or FX Blue. FX Blue, like I said, that was a lot of weird things were happening. I remember almost every day right around Christmas and shortly after, I would get emails and they would go, why are you opening and closing the trade so fast? And it wasn't like the other one that I was talking about, but they were saying that I would execute a trade and then it would close on their platform within seconds. That was because in most cases, what I was able to see is that they didn't have the same currency pair. The chart opened. So the trade copier was, let's say, for example, if I was trading the pound yen, I would execute a trade on the pound yen. But if the subscriber didn't have the pound yen chart open on their platform, that's when the trade copier would pick it up, open it in their platform, and then close it because it didn't detect it or something like that. It was weird because I'd never seen FX Blue do that. I had never seen the trade copier do that. Prior to that, years in the past, it wouldn't do anything like that. If you didn't have the chart open, it just wouldn't open the trade. But in this instance, recently, with some of the changes that they were making, it was opening and closing the trade really quick on their end. And then I would say, okay, well, we had a pound yen trade today. We made 40 points or 60 points or whatever. And then people go, I didn't get that. It opened and closed right away. So that won't happen anymore because we're using Forex Solutions. You will see it and you can go straight to them and you can ask them. And they should be able to look at my account and they'll tell you. So again, more transparency. So again, I hope that you all understand why these changes came about. There's a lot of changes in the industry, a lot of changes with credit card processing companies. There's just so many different things that I had to make adjustments to. And I hate all of it because I only like trading. So, but it's all part of what I have to do, but I appreciate it, right? I say I hate it, but I say it with a smile because it's the stuff that I don't want to do that I know I have to do, right? But I love trading, and I just want to trade. I want to trade for me, for you, for my family, for my investors, for my subscribers. That's what I want. That's what I love, um, and I want to do it forever. So please understand that that's the changes that I've gone through are, health reasons, industry standard, industry practices. The website's going to experiencing some will be some experiencing some changes too with policies, statements, things that need to be on the website. There's just a lot of different things. We will continue to use Skrill. I don't use any other credit card processing method yet. I might change that in the future. I'm still always looking for the possibility of using a different service that will give me what it is that I'm looking for, and handle everybody's credit card from around the world as much as possible, in many countries as possible. The 24-hour period, that refund policy is going to stay in effect. We might change it around a little bit in the future, but for right now that stands. I think it really gives you a good opportunity to really stop and think about after you make the purchase. But again, after you make the purchase, you will get access to the membership area, where you then get the email link to add your MT4 trading account to Forex Solutions. You'll be communicating with them directly. And then again, for the first 24 hours, you won't see any trades at all, right? So again, if you start thinking, wow, I just bought from this guy and he's not trading for me. Again, remember, there's the first 24 hours, no trades. No trades for you in the first 24 hours. I do that because I want you to really think about your decision and make sure that you're set up correctly. It gives you plenty of time, and then the time starts. The time doesn't start on the day that you made the purchase for the monthly subscription. The time starts 24 hours, right? 24 hours after you complete that purchase. So you get, 1 day to think about it and everything and get everything connected. And then after that, right, you're not eligible at all for the refund, and then it's my payment for trading for you. Yes, two separate payments. Thank you for asking again. Two separate payments. You make one payment to Forex Solutions. It's approximately $30 a month. And then you make one separate payment to me. I apologize for having to do it that way. But again, I think it just keeps everything on the up and up, as they say, right? It just keeps you aware of what you're involved in, and it keeps me focused. I know that you're paying for me because you want it. You want me to trade for you. And then 5 days before your subscription expires, we send you a notice with a link straight back to this purchase page. And then on the day that your subscription expires, we give you another email notice with, again, a link reminding you to go back to the purchase page. And then on the next day after that, you probably won't see any more trades because we contact Forex Solutions and tell them to disconnect. No, it's not. Yeah, no, I know. The thing that was aggressive. No, I didn't mean it like that. You'll get a couple of days. Like I'll probably wait about 2 days after the expiration. But I'm not going to let it go for like I did before. I used to, back in the day, even when I was charging for monthly subscriptions, I was really bad at it. I wouldn't rebill people. I wouldn't. Yeah, it's very different. Yeah, there's a lot more fees involved in the service this time, especially with Forex Solutions and things like that. Everybody's got to. Yep. Everybody does it. Yes, everybody. No trading course. No trading course with this service. Yeah, that's why I mentioned my books are on Amazon if you want to buy the books just to see what I'm doing. Otherwise, I honestly think you're going to get a lot of the information. I mean, if you're using my services because you want to, increase or just, provide monthly income stream, additional monthly income stream for you, or, replace a job or fund a retirement account or something like that. I get that. All the information that you really need is probably, it's sufficient. These videos, I go, I explain the setup, I explain the breakdown, the take profit levels. No more Bitcoin. No Bitcoin with this trade copier service. I might add it in the future if Bitcoin becomes more available on the MT4 platform. Yes, it only works with the MT4 platform, but no more Bitcoin on this one. Updates, yes. So updates are going to be just about every day. Again, please, forgive me if I miss one day, but you can go right into your trading platform and see everything. Everything is open. Everything is wide open this time. That's what I like about this. I don't even have to worry about anybody going to there's always going to be somebody who's going to go to some of these forums and they're going to say, I'm an idiot and I'm a liar. And some of the information, I got to be totally honest, it's not just that they're bad people. They could just, sometimes I might not understand what they're saying, and or I might even miss what they're saying. Sometimes people are sending me messages to the wrong email accounts. For example, and I say technology, I had an email account that was tied for years to the domain, and it got turned off. It got blacklisted because I was sending out all of my updates through it, and I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. Yeah, it got turned off. So then people were sending me emails, and then I was sending emails back to them, and I didn't know that they weren't getting emails. That I wasn't getting any notification that it wasn't going through. And then I found out that it was blacklisted because I was sending out like 150 emails a day, and I wasn't supposed to do that, but I didn't know that. So I can no longer use that, but people still send emails to that email address. Yeah, yeah. There's just always going to be changes in the future that I need to be aware of. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for attending. I'm sorry I went so long. This is being recorded. Yes. I'm actually going to post it right here. This recording is going to be right here on the homepage, and it's going to replace this so that anybody who wants to go any further and learn about the trade copier and all the details and my story, it's all right here. They don't have to go anywhere else, and they can know and decide if they want to continue with it any further. I don't do coaching anymore. I do coaching with people that I know or communicate with me on a private level. But my coaching is no longer available at the price that I was charging. That was just, yeah, it was more like a chat room and a group coaching. One-on-one coaching now is a lot. I charge a lot for that. Well, you know what? If you're interested in coaching one-on-one, um, I'm not doing any coaching until like I wouldn't even consider it until later in the summer. But if you're interested, just send me an email and just put coaching request information or something like that on the subject line so I see it. Um, I'll give you the information on that. Yeah, yeah, it is very expensive. Yep. Well, very different. Yeah, the results are obviously different. Okay, so telephone numbers. Do I offer telephone numbers? No, you know what? I was doing telephone numbers. So some of you may have seen that on the website. I had a telephone number on the website, and I thought it was going to be a really good idea. And I thought, okay, it didn't even occur to me that it was going to be abused. And you could also, it was capable of receiving text messages, that telephone number. And oh my God, I can't even begin to tell you. So we were getting all kinds of crazy calls, solicitation calls, text messages, all crazy hours of the day and night. Nothing to do with forex trading. Some of it was forex trading. It was out of control. It was a completely abused, and I apologize that I even put it on there. I thought it was going to be really helpful. I think if I was to ever do a telephone number again, it would only be for subscribers. Because that was the other thing, is that there was a lot of people who did purchase a service that were using and stealing a lot of the information. Like I said, a lot of those people that were down there in Georgia and Florida, this group of people, it was a group of people. I ended up finding them in some internet marketing on Facebook group. I saw some of them in there. Anyway, but they actually purchased my service, and then they were on my email list anyway. So it was like I couldn't figure out where they were getting it from. But every time I would send out an email, and it was something important that I didn't want released or something, it would end up somewhere on Facebook. So I knew that they were on the list somewhere. So now we just have to pay attention to the people that are actually on the email list. But I would never do a telephone number again unless, it was just for members only. I wouldn't post it on the website. So I apologize for that, for even doing it. It was just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't anticipate that, and I didn't see it happening until it actually happened. Yeah, just through email. Yes, best way. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate you, first of all, considering. I've been in the business for a long time. I've been trading since 2001. I've been offering services since 2007. I've experienced a lot of ups and downs with different services that I've used. Some of them were good, some of them were bad. Trade copiers were good, some trade copiers were bad. But I will always trade for the rest of my life. I've often said that I will trade until I can no longer see a chart. I take care of myself. I take care of my family. I take care of my business, what I do. I love trading. I want to trade for you. I want to trade for my investors, my family, and I love trading. I know you do too. You're probably extremely passionate about it. It is awesome when you do it right. And as bad as some of the things have been that I've experienced, I still think it was all worth it. Like it was all worth it, and it was all something I had to go through to get here. And I love all of it. I love it. I love the whole world of trading. I love it. Um, and I hope you do too. And I want to share it with you. So thank you again for considering it. And I will be posting performance statements, but again, they'll be from other people. People could post them. I mean, they can post their real results because it's going to be my results too. My FX book, I really don't care about that. I know, and I see it all the time. People manipulate those accounts. So I don't know that too many people trust it unless they know about that or don't know about it, that it can be manipulated. But other third-party testing, things like that. I mean, the best way is look at what other people say that really are using it or showing you the results, and then try it out for a month. I mean, you're not gonna. I don't have a losing month. I know when to stop. You're gonna make at least what it cost, especially if you do how I how I say you should consider trading or having the ability to trade a standard lot. But again, you're free to do whatever it is that you want on your end. Okay, thank you very much. I look forward to trading for you.